Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you again, and for this meeting, we will continue our materials about the research methodology. Actually, this meeting we want to discuss about the scope of research, form of human business in research purpose, type of research, and research elements. Right? For the scope of research, we know the scope of research is like a limitation of the subject to be research. So that can be the limitation of research problem, or maybe on the number of subject. Could be we can make a limitation on material that to be discussed. And also we can make our scope of research is to have a limitation on variable to be studied. And why we need a scope research? Because we have an important thing on our research methodology. The scope of research is strongly related to the research question. So it will be related to our theme, to our topic. And also determining research boundaries. So it will make our research have a precise, a precise scope to our what we want to do on our research. And every research subject have a scope on each. So we can say that the scope of research is like what the subject that we choose to our research. And we can recommended that we choose a scope is suited to our field of study. We can make the scope of research is what is our expertise on it. And if we are do this, it will increase, it will improve our competence on that expertise. So it will put the knowledge to our expertise, because we can make or we can choose the scope of our research. And what is the human approach or human business in research? Actually, human have to approach to the research. That could be the traditional or conventional approach, and also to the modern way, that is a scientific approach. Actually, why the human have this approach? Because they feel to know, they have curiosity, they want to know everything personal object. So that is we have to approach on it. What is the non-scientific approach? Because this is a non-scientific approach, it's like understanding surrounding phenomena in conventional or non-scientific ways. We explain something without scientific. We explain something without proof. We can using common sense, prejudice, intuition, trial and error, or opinion, critical thinking, or maybe experience, but without proof. So we can say it as a non-scientific approach. Like we know what is the myth, legend, or something trying and error, and we make the conclusion that is the fact. It is the an example of the non-scientific approach. But we also have the scientific approach or modern ways, because trying to obtain scientific truth, so we can make the rationally and empirically prove to our hypothesis, to our uh, what is the our prejudice, like that. So for the scientific method, uh, same with the how to conclude something, we can use the deductive method and also the inductive method. So if we have the hypothesis, uh, and prove it, the hypothesis is accept or reject, it's like a deductive method. But if we using the inductive method, we will make a pattern. So we what is collect the data on detail and have the conclusion. So it like inductive method. So if we have a scientific approach, it mean we will using the proof, the rational, empirical to our conclusion. Right? What is the empiric? The empiric is knowledge obtained from observation or experiment. So it's based on data, not trial error, not like intuition, but we all have the fact or the data. And what is the literature? Because for the modern ways to approach of research, we have a scientific research, we need a literature, like this is the source or guideline that we have collect the information about our research, about the related research to our expertise. So we need the literature for the scientific research. Okay, and what is the research objective? Actually, for the research objective, we have two research, that is a pure science, for pure science, and also for applied science. If the objective for pure science, this is to obtain the empirical data, formulating or expand to verify the theory. And for the applied science, we have to solve some problem. And for this two research objective, we can conduct a mix of them. And actually, for our expertise, maybe in electrical engineering or in informatic, we are most of us using the applied science. And what is the type of research? There is many type of research that based on knowledge field, approach, place of execution, its use, general purpose, level, method, and also about the intervention on or on variables. So what is the type of research based on the field of science? There is many subject on science. that is have the type research based on the field science. That could be educational, nursing, agriculture, engineering, medical, economic, geological, biological. That's many subject on the science that could be type of research. So this is because based on the field of science. And the second type of research that will be based on the broad use, that we could be a qualitative research and also could be quantitative research. What is the difference of this? The difference of qualitative and quantitative almost about the structure and also how to collect the data. For qualitative, collect the data, we can observe, interpreting something. But for the quantitative, that will be measured, test. For qualitative, maybe we can describe, explain something based on the observation. But for quantitative, we can interpret from the data. So the quiet difference about the qualitative and quantitative is about the real data, or maybe we can something to measure. We can we can classify to the quantitative research. Okay, and the next is a type of research based on the place of implementation, that could be in library, like a literature review, field, laboratory, and also combine of two or all three. For our expertise, maybe we can combine between field and laboratory, and also field, laboratory, and library. It's depend to our research. The more information, the more data, it's the more quality of research. And the type of research based on of their use is almost the same with the research objective. That could be for the pure science and also the applied science, or maybe we can hybrid it or mix it. The other type of research is also based on the general purpose. So we can make the research like exploratory, descriptive, and explanatory. So it's what is the difference of this? Because it's will be to the structure, the approach, that is exploratory is like unstructured. Descriptive is more structured, and explanatory research is like highly structured. So the more to the right is like the more quantitative research, and the more to the left is like the qualitative sorry that's qualitative research. Okay, next is type of research based on the level, that could be analytic or descriptive. What is the difference? Descriptive is like the qualitative research, to identify something, describe something, determine something. That's often scientists with full knowledge or information together. So like to collect the data from literature. But for the analytic, it's like to establish why something occurred, how it came to be. So it will be analytic, so it will need more data on analytic research. And all disciplines are all subject of science generally engage in both. So we can using descriptive and also combine with the analytic also in our expertise. The next is type of research based on the method that could be cross-sectional study or longitudinal study. Cross-sectional like what is one point in time, or maybe a snapshot, or maybe we can using only the specific time, specific term to our research. For longitudinal is like a multiple point in time. Maybe we need long time to this research. Provide detail of change over time because we are using a longitudinal study. Maybe some our friends have researched how to what is to analyze about the social media. It's like a cross-sectional study, but maybe we obsess about the vaccine of the COVID-19. That will be a longitudinal study. So cross-sectional and longitudinal is about the time. This is the short time or the long time. Also provide a snapshot or the detail like that. And the last is type of research based on the intervention of variable that could be pre-experimental, the true experimental, or quasi-experimental. Actually, the true experimental is like to make in how to know the variable without uh, without the disturbance, another disturbance variable. Like maybe we have the result on the laboratory without another variables, but the quasi experimental is like we cannot make our variable without another disturbance. It's like a quasi experimental. For pre-experimental, like observation, this is like observation on the research, right? And for the research element, actually we need the what is the purpose statement or objective statement, technique, methodology, objection, setting, timeline. So we know the timeline. Measure is this is the part of methodology, and also timeline. Uh, the last is for analytic method. We will we will study it on the next meeting every week, and we will know what is our step on our research, and we will see you on the next material. Thank you.